Fasting. It is a good exercise for your mind and for your body. That will be today's topic. So sit back and enjoy. What you have is a breakdown in society. And pretty much, yes, people are walking around in a zombie state. You will start to notice more and more events where people are committing acts of very, very evil crimes against one another. Terrible acts. For no reason, pretty much. No substantial reason whatsoever. Just start jugging people with syringes in an audience just because you can. Leave children at home with one of their siblings dead. Roaches, flies everywhere. These are true events. And the parent leaves the children there for months at a time while she runs around with her boyfriend, who allegedly killed the child, who is dead inside of the apartment with roaches and flies everywhere, while his brothers, her brothers and sisters, what have you, siblings, are looking at him, dead. No mother around. Children scavenging for themselves inside of an apartment building. Neighbors, I would think, would smell the carcass of the child. This is a shame. This is really, really a shame. This is social engineering being carried out over a stretch of time. Having people with social distancing. People are more concerned about, at one time when the television was popular, they were more concerned about what was on the TV. I've even, when I was younger, heard people make comments that, well, they said it on TV, so that must mean it's true. This is all social engineering being done at its finest. Now you have devices. We have devices. They tell you to wear a mask. That's what they tell you to do for your own protections and for the protection of others. So really you can't see the person next to you clearly. And of course that person has to stay a certain distance away from you. Social clubs, nightclubs, always some kind of crazy shooting going on. The music that is being released by major record companies that flood communities, and the children listen to it and adults, speak on killing people, hurting people, committing acts of adultery. 4 baby mamas, 4 or 5 baby daddies is illustrated in the songs and lyrics. Rock and roll speaks of satanic verses. Many of them. I'm not gonna say all. I shouldn't say all, but many of them talk about bad things they want to do to people. And instead of talking about saving people and, singing lyrics about love and helping your neighbor and, all that corny stuff, I guess they say. They don't want to rap about that. They want to rap about the perversion. And when I think about it really deep, when I see all the different symbols and all the different signs that the rappers use, a lot of it has its foundation in these societies. Skull and Bones, Masons, Shriners, etc. And I don't think it's coincidence when artists use these symbols, of course. And a lot of this has already been exposed. So when you see people starting to, along with all the poison that they've put in the streets, the water with fluoride in the water for over 50 years, the food being tainted, GMOs, the different types of medications administered. Over the years, all of this starts to mount up. And now what you have is a breakdown in the morality of society. And religion did not help. Or religion, as a matter of fact, made it worse. And, let's face it. Your Bible, your Quran, Torah, they talk of incest. They talk of child abuse and women abuse. They talk of a lot of abuses. And a lot of the renowned figures in these books are the ones that carried out these acts, some of these acts. But yet they are praised. They are praised without no retribution or any type of, as far as their character is concerned, no type of real view of who they were. And some people say they didn't even exist. Some of these characters that come from the Bible. And you have your Quran, which plagiarized a lot of what's in the Bible. And all of this is part of the Jesuit order. This is all part of a Jesuit network. And I will keep exaggerating that because people are breaking down and they're getting the public prepared for what they're about to do. And that is mass genocide, and they're hoping that we turn in on each other. You see, what they want is those that have accepted their mandate, and then they're going to have those that didn't accept their mandate. And they want to start a buffer between those two groups. And of course, one group is not going to be thinking too straight because they have certain poisons in their bodies that may make their decision making difficult for them. You know, because you feel it, the nightmares, the migraines, maybe a sudden heart pulse, heartbeat. It's been laced. And then combined with all the other poisons that has been distributed throughout the years, it equals a certain breakdown in your nervous system. We're talking biological weapons. We're talking Operation Trojan Horse. Slow poison. As time go on, you will start to see what I'm saying. When you start to see people pretty much in a zombie state as time goes on. I say fasting is a good base solution. Fasting helps cleanse your body. It helps to bring about discipline. It also is a defense in these times that we live in. Seeing that we live in a atmosphere that has poisons. The food that is being distributed has poisons. Slow poisons. Fluoride in the water. We have been laced, many of us, through medications that they administer, which have side effects. This is why fasting helps cleanse your body. Find a good herbal tea that you like, or even coffee's not bad. Just not too much. To me, it's a celebration just to have a cup of coffee. And times are going to get very, very tight and very hard. You may want to save some of your supplies that you have. So eating, overabundantly, or just eating wastefully may not be such a good idea right now. You may want to stock back on your food and clean your mind up, clean your body up, because they're constantly throwing poisons at us through GMOs and etc. So fasting is very good to defend your body. Your body has a chance to clean itself out, flush itself out. Try one day. Try 2 days. Try 3 days of fasting. You know your own personal condition. If you're used to eating 3 times a day, try 2 times a day. Then break it down to 1 time a day. Activities are good. Activities are good. There's always something to do. Believe me. find yourself not eating, you'll find that your mind becomes a lot more creative as you fast, as you give your body time to rejuvenate and battle the poisons that it has consumed because of these wicked, diabolical people. Start an indoor garden. There's plenty activities to do around the house. There is. There's a lot more there to do than you realize. It's just that your mind has been stifled, maybe with other things that you might feel is important. But go a day without eating and just, drink some water or drink some tea that day, maybe. Try that. And when you go through that day, if you can, when you wake up the next day, think about some things that you really want to do for yourself personally. Be creative. There's nothing wrong with picking up a paintbrush and just start painting. Even if you've never painted before, give it a try.
Is when I went to lunch. Mm-hmm. No fucking body was in the cafeteria. I'm like, I checked my schedule.
Yeah.
And looked at it. I said, where is it? Then I go head on. I get my tray and everything. Sit down and I eat real quick. I said, where is it? So then I walk out the back patio because I see people that's just now coming. They not even going through the line getting a tray. They just going straight down these stairs and out the back door. Mm-hmm. So I go out the back door and the first thing I see was a mushroom cloud. I said, what is this? Nobody was eating for lunch. Everybody was eating.
If you feel yourself can't take a fast, don't try it. You know your own body. I'm not advocating that you force yourself to fast. If you're used to eating 3 times a day, and you know if you only eat twice a day that you're not going to feel good, and you can't take it, then don't try it. Fasting is prescribed for those that feel as though their body can take it. And you know your body better than anyone. But this is what I prescribe as a way to get into your deeper thoughts. And you'll even, just by trying it, you'll learn a lot more about your body than you realize if you've never tried it for 2-3 days or what have you. You'll find out things about your body that you didn't know. You will realize that maybe you thought you could do 3 days and you only made 1 day. You tried 1 day and you could only make maybe 12 hours. That's a learning process. But then there's that other side that you should always keep in mind, that by disciplining yourself not to eat as much when times do get hard and pressed, where there's no supplies, no food, you've exercised the capabilities of your body, and you know what you can withstand as far as the length of not eating, not going without. So if these times do occur, you'll be in a better mental state, even physical state, if you carry out the exercise and learn to go without for several days, what have you. This is how warriors go through battles. They condition themselves to go through very tedious tasks. Anyone who's played sports, they know exactly what I'm saying right now. You condition your muscle to withstand certain pressure, and it gives it a lot more strength. The same thing with fasting. You are conditioning your mind and your stomach to withstand pressures. And your stomach and your mind work hand in hand, of course. Whenever you're scared, you feel it in your stomach. Don't let anyone tell you that your stomach and your mind do not work hand in hand. You are what you eat. And the less you eat of poison, the less poison you will have in your body. Because pretty much you can't go to the grocery store. You can't even grow your own food. I have to also illustrate this. You can't even grow your own food without it being affected by the poisons that these diabolical people have let loose upon this earth. You say you're growing organic, but whether you know it or not, them GMO plants are letting loose pollens. And those pollens are affecting your plants. That's why in some ways indoor plants are better. Growing an indoor organic garden. But even at that point, the pollen still seeps in. Because you have to realize that there's also other plants that grow wild that are being affected by these pollen particles which the GMO plants give off. If anyone has noticed, the bees are very thin. You don't see bees as much as you used to. And that's because of the pollen being tampered with. And you having these mega farms growing GMO plants, which are giving off mass of pollen particles, which are affecting the plants and the environment around us, of course. Because if you affect the plants, you affect other things. It's one vicious cycle. So even if you raise chickens in your backyard or what have you, keep all of these things in mind, that no matter how much organic you want to be, you're still being affected by their poisons that they have let loose on this planet. Fasting is what I prescribe. Fasting. It is a good deterrent because less poison taken in, the less you have to deal with it. Mentally, fasting helps you to focus. Once you've conditioned and got food off of your mind, that's the trick. Is to not think about food. And you'll see how much space you have in your brain when you're not thinking of food. It opens up that hollow space in your mind. And that allows, as I said before, creativity starts to take place. And you start to get more in tune with your inner self. And you start to reflect a lot more on what you really need. It's an experience that you should try if you have never tried it. And like I said before, if you don't think you can do it, try just one meal a day. If you're used to eating 3, try 1. If you're used to eating 2, try 1. If you're used to eating snacks at night, just don't eat none. Little by little. Oh yeah, we're gonna defeat this. All these poisons, all this crazy stuff that they wanna launch at us, we will defeat it. The most important part, though, is how we defeat it. I'm a person that I don't like to make the same mistake twice or 3 times, especially not 3 times. So what you have to realize is that there has been a great reset several times. A reset in civilizations. And a lot of people say that's what we're going through now. There was a great reset. Some say in the middle 1700s. Some would say the middle 1800s. There was a major reset in societies. We shouldn't have to keep resetting. We should be able to coexist with one another and not let a small few dictate to the masses what they want. That's not the way that should work. But right now, that's what they're trying to do. Is these few people, these few families, these few societies are trying to tell everyone else what to do. And you know what the funny part is? It's more like the do as I say, not as I do scenario. But we're going to overcome this. Try fasting as the first step. And you'll start to see your reasoning in your mind will start to clear. A lot of the clouds that may be in your mind right now will start to clear up. And you'll start to see through the fog that they've placed in front of you. And for those who are agreeing with a one world takeover by a few families, I think even if you fast, those who have a circle around these diabolical people, try fasting, and maybe your greed or whatever they're offering you to protect them, maybe you'll think a little bit more clearer about the future, your children's future, and see that all that they're offering you is just a big mirage, because there's a bigger picture that they're looking at. And as long as they keep feeding you poison and decorating you false ideas. You think you're protecting something good. I prescribe fasting. Talking about someone's stomach is a delicate subject matter because eating is a very personal act that is carried out daily, and more than once or twice in some cases, even more. And it's personal. So when I say I prescribe fasting as a strategy to deal with the situations at hand, just reason with me and think good about whether or not you want to endure an exercise of fasting. Because like I've stated, it's not for everyone. But a little hint, most of those people in those 13 families or these hierarchies that are trying to implement these mandates and this organized one world government for their own transhumanistic, Nietzsche, futuristic society, they fast. I would pretty much gamble a nickel with someone that they practice fasting more than you realize. There's a date that I've quoted before. December 21st, 2021. For some reason, this date keeps ringing a bell in my ear. Metamorphically. This date, as I've mentioned before, if spent around those who are familiar with the Mayan date of 2012, December 21st, you can just flip this number around and you'll get the date that I'm stating, 12/21/21. I don't get too much off into numerology, but for some reason this date has a significance that I haven't been able to pinpoint through my meditation, through vision, through dreams. When you fast, this is another aspect of fasting. You'll start to notice that your dreams are a lot clearer to you, because as you rest, your body's not dealing with all the food that would have been there if you had ate. So you're sleeping, now you're resting with an empty stomach, which is hard for some. But as you get into a point of sleep, your body now, as I mentioned before, is dealing with that hollow space. There's no food, that hunger. Once you've defeated it, your mind is not thinking about it. When you fast, you open up your pineal gland. By opening up your pineal gland, your dream state is a lot more aware. You see your dreams a lot more clearer. Try it. On that third day of fasting, when you rest, you will see your dreams very clear and it will make a lot more sense to you. Try it. I prescribe fasting. Give your pineal gland a chance to cleanse itself from all of the poisons that have been saturating your body. And the more that you practice this, the more you practice fasting, you'll start to see your dreams a lot clearer. This is Dr. Qedar. peace, prosperity.
Turn the bass up.
Yes, we will defeat anything that comes against us.
The law of survival trumps United States of America / government / corporation law. The law of survival.
Abandoned buildings production, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take mine black. Turn the bass up, turn the bass up.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.